that reminding us on these holy nights, the way towards Allah is, and our way, our religion of Islam is the religion of the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, and that to be from the ashiqeen is the way in which all realities to open. And alhamdulillah, from the levels of the heart and from the understandings of the highest levels, which they call the akhfa, and its secret is in the color black, in the reality of black. And black is a color in which absorbs everything. It is the reality of annihilation. And alhamdulillah, Mawlana Shaykh reminding us that the science of annihilation is a very fascinating way of understanding what is annihilation, is that if you add 1 cup and 1 cup, you have 2 cups, because they are still in the world of form. And the whole way of reality is to lose the form. So it means the whole way of marifah is that this form in which Allah gave us a donkey in which to ride onto this earth, that is the one that has to be taken away, has to be effaced and negated, so that to enter back into the realities of light, of our lucid and liquid state. So then they teach that in the liquid state, 1 drop plus 1 drop is still 1 drop. So depending upon what you're adding, that equation is going to be relevant. If you're adding 2 forms, then yes, there's going to be multiple. But the reality of annihilation and the reality of tawheed and the oceans of oneness, that we cannot reach La ilaha illallah, but we can reach to the ocean of Muhammadun Rasulullah. And the way to be one in that ocean is to lose the form, because as many drops as you put back into that ocean, the ocean remains one, because each drop will be lost and back into its origin. That is the akhfa reality, that lose and annihilate your form. And then they remind us, and Sayyidina Bilal al-Habashi Qaddasallahu Siru, from the great Sahabi of Prophet come into our lives and begin to remind us that their lives have tremendous realities. Not a story tale that from an old story, but must be something relevant within our life today, and begin to teach that my life and my coming to this reality is that I was a slave. And again, this has to do with the secret of the black and the reality of black, and that the reality of abd, because there's an abd of dunya and there is the abdullah, it's reality of akhirah. That we speak tomorrow night. The abd of dunya, that Sayyidina Bilal being Habashi and from a black coloured skin, comes to teach that that is the station of annihilation, and that the black race on this earth have been tremendously abused, that their history is of immense abuse. And Allah wants us to understand that is that station of Abdullah, that is the station of servanthood, that the reality of servanthood, if it comes onto this earth, is going to clash, is going to be abused, because the shaitans of this dunya, they don't want the servants of Allah, they don't want the servants of the heaven, and they begin to abuse them and mistreat them. And that is the symbol of our life, that their life is a symbol for us, that look how much just because of that color that we become abused, how much we come under torment. And Sayyidina Bilal's life was that he was a slave in the time of the arrival of Prophet, that he's coming to Sayyidina Muhammad as an abd, which again a station that unimaginable. Not coming with free will, not coming with okay, I think I will follow you, maybe I won't follow you, but accepting the message of Islam, accepting the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, that I accepted that message and I wanted to follow Prophet. The condition in which Allah put me in, means his birth condition is that he's a slave. And then began an immense amount of torture. They began to torture Sayyidina Bilal over periods of time, and they kept telling Sayyidina Bilal that, you live following Sayyidina Muhammad, keep the religion of whatever you want, of our gods or Allah, whatever you want, keep it in your heart. Means it's important for us that what were the companions fighting for? What were they struggling for? What were they believing in? They hadn't seen Allah, they hadn't seen any holy Qur'an, they hadn't seen anything. But what they did see, they loved. What they did see was Sayyidina Muhammad. They saw the haqq of Nabi al-Kareem, they saw the haqq of Nur al-Muhammadi. They said that You're describing of compassion. If you are the compassionate, an example of what you're describing of Allah Azza wa Jal, we are accepting. If you are the merciful and your character is so merciful, we're now understanding what you're talking about of Allah Azza wa Jal, we're accepting. Means their acceptance was in the love of Prophet ﷺ. They accepted the character of Prophet ﷺ as an example of that Creator. That what we're going to know of Allah Azza wa Jal, we're seeing it through you. That your character and trustworthiness, your beautiful nature was of such a way that we accept whatever you're telling us. And that's how they gained the love of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Sayyidina Bilal tortured, that you leave following Sayyidina Muhammad and we will relieve you. Said, never. Nothing you can do that will stop me from following Sayyidina Muhammad. And that was a danger. That's going to change the way all of servanthood on this dunya. That this dunya is based on serving shaitan, serving the dunya and material desires, but following the way of Sayyidina Muhammad is the way of haqq and truth. And the truth will set you free. And begins to teach. Then they took me that day and they put me under the sun and they began to like cook me under the weather. And they put upon my chest, and after horrible torturings, unimaginable torturings, they put a stone as a final death blow, a huge boulder upon his chest, and began to crack the bones of his chest. And the only zikr that he's making is ahad, ahad, ahad. And that has to do with the station in which Prophet ﷺ, which Allah Azza wa Jal opened because of the love of Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, the difficulty that he put himself through, Allah Azza wa Jal opened the witnessing of that reality. That for Sahabi are open-hearted people. Ahlul Bayt are open-hearted people. That the zikr they're making is a reflection of the station in which they're at. And he was making the zikr of ahad, ahad, ahad because he wanted everyone to know he had reached that reality. That was for us to be an understanding of that reality. That all awliyaullah come and teach that when Sayyidina Bilal was being tortured, Qaddasallahu Sirruh, he was making zikr ahad. And that was because of the love of Sayyidina Ahmad. That the love of Prophet opened such immense realities that they say no matter what you did at that time, he's not going to feel it. He's in the love in the oceans of rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal. What his understanding was merely the physicality, but in the oceans of ecstasy and Divine the Presence. And whom Sayyidina Muhammad sent was the great Siddiq, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and told Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq that Allah giving permission, free him. Means again for us, and the Naqshbandiya way has a tremendous reality. The Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq sent to free and to open that reality, open that maqam from the sir to the khafa and to the akhfa, is to open that reality. That's not an action that doesn't have a reality behind it, but has a tremendous reality behind it. That he's dispersed to go out and purchase that freedom, means take away that oppression, take away that oppression, take away that difficulty, and to begin that opening. And an understanding in this dunya is that they are waiting for the great Siddiq to open again that reality on this dunya. As that reality is still under oppression in this dunya, that the great Siddiqs to be given order by Prophet ﷺ to open that reality upon dunya. Means for us that is an understanding of the greatness of Sayyidina Bilal al-Habashi and the realities of the akhfa station of annihilation. And Allah Azza wa Jalla gives us as a reminder for ourselves, because the companions, the holy companions, they are constantly guiding us, watching and praying